Network theory viva. What is active and passive network? The network which has no current or voltage source is called passive network. The network which has current or voltage source is called active network. Unilateral circuit. The circuit whose properties are same in either direction is known as unilateral circuit. Integrating circuit, an electronic circuit formed on a small piece of semiconducting material which perform the same function as large circuit made from discrete components. Is integrator a low pass filter? Yes. Is differentiator a high pass filter? Yes. Application of differentiator used in wave shaping circuit to detect high frequency component and also as a rate change detector in FM modulators. What is filter? A filter is a circuit is a device which removes the AC component of rectifier output and allows only DC component to reach the load. Low pass filter. Low pass filter is a circuit that can be designed to modify, reshape, or reject all unwanted high frequency of an electrical signal and accept or pass only those signals wanted by the circuit designers. High pass filter. A high pass filter is a circuit that can be designed to modify, reshape, or reject all unwanted frequency of an electrical signal and accept or pass only those signals wanted by circuit designers. Conductivity, the property of material that allows the current to flow through it. Electric power, the rate at which work is being done in an electric circuit. What is the value of power factor? The value of power factor is 1. What is the phase difference between voltage and current in inductor? The phase difference between the voltage and inductor in an inductor is 90 degree and voltage leads current in this case. What is the phase difference between current and voltage in capacitor? The phase difference between the current and voltage in capacitor is 90 degree and here current leads voltage by 90 degree. What is selectivity? The selectivity of resonating circuit is defined as the ratio of frequency of the resonance to the bandwidth of the circuit. What is bandwidth? The frequency band within the limit of upper half and lower half is known as bandwidth. Transfer function. The transfer function is a key concept in a signal processing because it indicates how a signal is processed as it passes through a network. For electric networks, the transfer function is also known as network function. Application of transfer function. Transfer function help us to find the network response, network stability, and network synthesis. Transfer function is also known as the ratio of output response to the input excitation in S domain, that is frequency domain, assuming all the initial conditions to be 0. The transfer function depends on what we defined as input and output. Current voltage relationship in frequency domain. For resistor, Vt is Rit. Taking Laplace transform, Vs is equals to Ris. For inductor, Vt is equals to L di by dt. Taking Laplace transform, Vs is equals to Slis minus Li0 minus. For capacitor, It is equals to C dV by dt. Taking Laplace transform, Is is equals to SCVS minus CV0 minus. If we assume 0 initial condition for inductor and capacitor, resistor, the voltage across the resistor in frequency domain is Ris, inductor is Slis, and for capacitor voltage across it in frequency domain is 1 by SC times Is. Poles. Poles are the value where denominator of the transfer function is equal to 0. The roots of denominator polynomial of the transfer function are called poles of transfer function. In other words, zeros are the value where numerator of the transfer function is equal to 0, or the root of numerator polynomial of the transfer function is called 0 of the transfer function. In other words, any value of the zeros and poles of the transfer function make the value of transfer function 0 and infinity respectively. Let us assume that Hs is equals to 2s times s plus 2 divided by s plus 3 times s plus 5. Here 0 equals to 0 comma and 2 and poles equals to minus 3 comma minus 5. Stability theory. A system is said to be stable if its output increases indefinitely by the application of a bounded input excitation. A circuit is said to be stable when all the poles of its transfer function Hs lie in the half S-plane or frequency plane. Requirement of circuit stability. The degree of numerator Ns should be less than the denominator, where N is numerator and D is denominator. All the poles of the transfer function must lie in the left half of the plane. Necessary condition for stability. All the coefficient of equation should have same sign. There should be no missing term. RH criterion. It states that the number of roots in their positive real part is equal to the number of changes in the sign of the first column of the RH array. Limitation of RH array. Can tell the number of poles in the right half of the S-plane but do not locate the exact position of the poles. Input impulse response. Input impulse response is the output response of the circuit shown in the input as is input unit. RH criterion is necessary and sufficient condition for function to be stable. The time function is the transfer of function can be obtained by calculating the residue by determining the phasor from each zeros and poles to respective poles.